Good morning. I'm going to present a paper on normalization of conjunctival flora following dacryocysto rhinostomy. I have no financial disclosure. Nasolacrimal duct obstruction causes retention of tears in the lacrimal sac, leading to acceleration of the growth of microorganisms in the accumulated tears. It's considered as a risk factor for infective endophthalmitis following intraocular surgery. Majority of the cases of postoperative endophthalmitis are caused by gram-positive bacteria, in particular Staph epidermidis and Staph aureus, which are considered as a normal flora of the eyelid and conjunctiva. It's necessary to treat NLDO surgically before planning an intraocular surgery, which necessitates two surgeries to treat two distinct conditions. Therefore, there must be an optimal interval between two surgeries so that the conjunctival flora normalizes and the risk of infective endophthalmitis can be minimized. The study aimed to determine the time required for conjunctival flora to normalize following external DCR. So 52 patients were diagnosed with NLDO and underwent DCR surgery. Patients above the age of 20 years with unilateral NLDO were included in the study, and those with secondary acquired nasolacrimal duct obstruction, canalicular and common canalicular obstruction, acute dacryocystitis, conjunctivitis, history of previous nasal surgery, use of topical or systemic antibiotic 1 week preoperatively, intraoperative use of silicone tube, and active and symptomatic infection in other sites of the body were excluded from the study. So total 40 patients were included. Of the 12 patients who were excluded, 2 patients had bilateral NLDO, 3 had history of use of topical antibiotics prior to DCR, 1 presented with acute dacryocystitis and 1 with traumatic dacryocystitis. In 4 patients, there was intraoperative use of silicone tube, and in 1 patient, the growth from the conjunctiva culture was positive even after 6 weeks after successful DCR. After complete ophthalmic examination, conjunctival swabs were obtained from both the involved and the normal site preoperatively, and it was inoculated immediately onto blood agar plates and incubated at 37 degrees Celsius for 18 to 24 hours. External DCR was performed by a standard manner by a single surgeon, and after 24 to 48 hours, microorganisms were identified by gross appearance of their colonies, gram staining, and biochemical reaction. Colony count was done by a viable count method. Postoperative medications included rotiprednol, etobenate eye drops, QID for a week and tapering weekly or a month, ofloxacin eye ointment over the wound, BD for a week, nasal decongestant drops, TID for a week, and oral NSAIDs, BD for 5 days. In the first follow-up week, skin sutures were removed, conjunctival swabs for culture from the operated side was collected, and sac syringing was done. Conjunctival swab from the operated side and the sac syringing was repeated every week till the result of the culture became negative or the colony count became less than that of the normal side. DCR was considered successful when the lacrimal passage was patent on syringing and follow-up visits, and there was a resolution of symptoms of watering after surgery. The time of normalization of the flora was defined as the interval from DCR until the result of the culture was either found negative or the colony count reached below that of the normal side. After 6 weeks, if the conjunctival flora did not normalize, then the patient was excluded from the study and then treated with the antibiotic according to the culture result. Of the 40 patients in the study, 31 were female and 9 were male. This is a chart showing the preoperative bacterial growth in both involved and the healthy eye. In the involved eye, Coagulase negative staphylococci was the most commonly grown organism. In the healthy eye, 7 patients showed positive culture. Cons and Corynebacterium species were grown from the culture from the healthy eye. There's a chart showing the bacterial growth during the study period, and we noted that there was a significant reduction in the growth of the conjunctival flora following DCR. The mean time of normalization in our study was 2.15 weeks and a range of 1 to 5 weeks. In comparison with the previous study, in study by OG et al., the mean time of normalization was 4.5 weeks. In the study by Eshraghi et al., it was 3.3 weeks, and by LB Ilbias et al., it was 1.47 weeks following external DCR, 1.04 weeks following endoscopic DCR, and 1.17 weeks following transcanalicular multidiode laser DCR. Our study differed from above studies as we did not use postoperative topical or systemic antibiotic following DCR. In a study by Simon Dulk et al. On postoperative infection rate after DCR without the use of systemic antibiotic prophylaxis, it was observed that as long as any pre-existing infection is successfully treated before DCR, infection rate without routine systemic antibiotic prophylaxis is significantly lower than previously thought. In the study, none of our patients had postoperative infection. So postoperative antibiotics may not be necessary for all cases. However, it may be cases of NLDO like mucocele, pyocele, and acute dacryocystitis to avoid the emergence of antibiotic resistance. To conclude, careful routine examination of the external ocular and lacrimal drainage system should be done before undergoing any intraocular procedure. Patient diagnosed with NLDO should undergo surgical correction before intraocular surgery is planned to minimize the risk of postoperative infective endophthalmitis. In such patients, it's rational to postpone elective intraocular surgery to at least 5 weeks after successful DCR surgery. The study's limitation was small sample size, and normalization time in patients undergoing DCR with silicone tube intubation was not assessed. These are my references. Thank you.
Yeah, hi, Mridula.
Hi, sir.
Yeah, hi. So this, I would say that the thought process was very nice, but we need to look into the limitations of culture methods.
Yes, sir.
If you're not able to culture something, does not mean that that organism is not present.
Yes, sir.
That's one aspect of it. And if you see the literature, the range has been from 1 week to 7 weeks.
Yes, sir.
None of them have actually used the right technique of assessing that. If you really want to answer this question, you need to have a microbiome analysis of it. I'll just give you an example of it. Okay, one sample of a lacrimal sac, if you take from the sac, okay,
yes,
one swab, I'll just give you last week example. We have been able to isolate 86 million organisms from that one swab of that one, of which 80% were not even known to human beings. We know that they belong to the bacterial kingdom, but human beings are not aware of almost 60 million of those organisms that we were able to code, right? And the remaining of them, that's hell a lot of them across all spectrum. For example, if you look at Acinetobacter, for example, right? If you put up specific culture methods for those bacteria, you're not going to isolate it. But if you look into the microbiome, you will find that Pando actually have Acinetobacter as the commonest organism. Whereas your culture methods will show you Staph and Strepto and those kind of organisms, because those are the common culture methods, the things that we use commonly grow those organisms, right? So there are limitations of these kind of studies. We will not be able to conclude that 6 weeks or 4 weeks would be the time for normalization of the flora.
Yes, sir.
Maria, can we go to the other presenter?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I just have a question to Mridula.
Yes, ma'am.
Why would you advise not to use systemic antibiotics, and what was the rate of any patient had secondary hemorrhage in your series?
No, ma'am. No secondary hemorrhage. Systemic antibiotics.
Why would I'm like this recommendation that maybe we could do without systemic or topical antibiotics? I mean, at least I would be very scared to do a DCR without systemic antibiotics, because we really can't be sure how much infection is there free of. I mean, there's mucoid fluid, how much bacteria does it contain, and like Dr. Nali said, there could be a variety of organisms. I mean, it's kind of very scary to suggest that we could go ahead without antibiotics.
Okay.
That's what I think.
Yes, ma'am.